going on, everybody? I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason, and I'm here with my first ever movie review. I'm going to be doing these little movie series, Jay Shady at the movies or something like that. Movies is what I love, and that's what I'm going to start talking about a lot on this channel. So here we go, first ever, Man of Steel. Just came out tonight, just got home from watching it, and it's time to review it. Before I go into the review itself, I'll just talk about Superman in general. Superman has been getting the short end of the stick, to say the least, when it comes to movies. You know, his last one was Superman Returns. That wasn't a very good movie. I've seen it like twice, and that was the year it came out. I don't remember anything from it. It was just not a horrible movie, but very forgettable. Nothing that sticks with you. It was just trying to be a sequel to the Christopher Reeve movies, yet it was in 2006, so it didn't know where it wanted to be. But Superman is my favorite superhero. I mean, Superman and Batman are like this and this, you know. I like Superman a little bit more, probably, even though Batman's movies are much better than Superman's, but to me, like, what Superman actually is, all the things about him, what he represents, his real 100% story is just what I prefer, and I love it. And the thing is, nobody movie-wise has ever gotten it 100% correct, the way it's supposed to be done. Now, I'm not talking about accuracy to comics, but I'm talking about they've never gotten all the different aspects of Superman right. Each incarnation, like the Christopher Reeve movies, Man of Steel, Smallville, they've each gotten their own something right, but nobody's ever put all the things that the movies had right together into one thing, which made the ultimate Superman movie. And that's what I was hoping this movie was going to be. It looked like it from the trailers. The trailers were phenomenal. That being said, this one was one that met below my expectations. My expectations were very high, especially from the trailers. It looked like this would be a phenomenal movie. The Superman movie. This movie did not reach those expectations. That being said, it was a good movie. Good movie to like pretty good. I don't think it was great. I don't know, I'd have to see it again, but it was a good movie, but there were a lot of things wrong with it that kind of knocked it down. Now, this was directed by Zack Snyder. That's one reason why this movie gets some points off, because, you know, I'm just not a fan of Zack Snyder's style. You know, he's all action-packed, CGI-packed stuff. You know, I like my movies with story, plot development, characterization, and that's the Superman movie I want to see. That included stuff like that, and also had some great action. But, you know, something like, you know, the Avengers had a lot of character development in it, even though it was a blockbuster action movie. You didn't get that because Zack Snyder is just not as talented as, you know, his peers like Joss Whedon did with the Avengers, or Christopher Nolan, who should have directed and wrote this movie. Let me go into the review itself. I'm just going to warn you, there are going to be spoilers in here, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, you know, beware for spoilers. If you don't care about spoilers, you could watch. You're welcome to watch. If you do care, just click the watch later, mark this in your watch later set list, and then you can come back to this review after you've seen the movie. So let's talk about the good things that from this movie, the pros of this movie. I liked a lot of the cast. I thought Henry Cavill was great, a great Superman for what was written in the script, because I think the script failed on some parts in creating a full-fledged Superman character, and especially a Clark Kent. But Henry Cavill did the best he could, I think, with the script that he had, and he looked like Superman. I mean, he looked like a mix between Christopher Reeve and Tom Welling from Smallville. Both of them mixed, and you get Henry Cavill. I thought he looked like the perfect Superman. I liked Michael Shannon as Zod. I really liked Russell Crowe as Jor-El. Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent, even though he wasn't given enough. Diane Lane as Martha Kent was great. I also liked the origin that they told, because they told pretty much the the basic original origin Superman origin story, but with their own twist on it. That's why I like they added something fresh, something new, without betraying everything. And that's why I was worried about with this movie. I thought they were gonna just throw all the old stuff to the side and just create their own thing that totally destroys everything Superman is about. Thankfully, they didn't do that. Thankfully, we had a Phantom Zone, we had a Fortress of Solitude. Superman still gets his powers from the sun. Krypton still explodes, things like that. So for the most part, it stuck to the origin story while adding its own twist. One of the best things it added was the fact that basically on Krypton, for the past couple centuries, every person that is born has been artificially created, genetically altered or something like that, to give them something that they're going to be, to determine what they're going to be in life. Like they artificially create warriors, artificially create politicians, artificially create, workers, things like that. And Superman was the first natural born child in the past couple hundred years on Krypton. I thought that was great. I think they should have even gone further with that storyline. But I've never seen that storyline done when it comes to Superman. I like that a lot. I liked that we got to spend time on Krypton. Even though it kind of looked like it was ripping off the Star Wars prequels, it looked like a Star Wars planet with Star Wars, animals, species. But I did like spending time on Krypton, like the opening 20-25 minutes, you're on Krypton exploring it. I liked, the best part of the movie to me was the Clark Kent. Just Clark Kent growing up. Him finding out what's going on, Jonathan Kent talking to him, Jor-El talking to him, all of the stuff with Clark Kent growing up, before he is Superman. That's the thing is, the Clark Kent stuff was so entertaining and interesting, but the Superman stuff just didn't live up to it. And I'll get to it when I talk about the cons. When he's Superman, it's like a letdown compared to the Clark Kent stuff. Like the first the first, I don't know, 2.5 quarters of this movie, or 3/4 of this movie are great. But then it's it just goes into mindless generic stuff with Superman. And even the Clark Kent stuff could have been better. And I'll talk about why it could have been better. Let me go into the cons. Because, I did like this movie. I did think it was a good movie. I liked the origin story, and like I said, the first half, the first maybe 2.5 quarters, with him finding out who he is, hearing the inspirational talk, growing up, into becoming this, person he's destined to be. I thought that was great. All the Clark Kent stuff was great, but the later Superman stuff, really, I don't know, it just didn't pay off the way the Clark Kent stuff did. Mainly because the Superman stuff didn't feel didn't feel fun. It just felt way too serious and just bland. So let's go into the cons. Casting wise, let's talk about the casting. Lois Lane. We'll start off right there. Amy Adams as Lois Lane did not like whatsoever. Just the character of Lois Lane was written totally wrong. Lois Lane is supposed to be this fast-talking, smart-ass, sarcastic, funny, hip girl. Here she's like a damsel in distress, pretty much. She's just Superman's bitch, just some random, romantic interest. She's not Lois Lane, a great, classic comic book character. Really isn't. And the stuff between Lois and Clark is just horrible. And that's bad because Lois and Clark fuels a lot of the Superman story. It's the huge backbone of the story. And the Lois and Clark stuff is non-existent in this. There's no chemistry. Basically Lois... Okay, so spoiler alert. Lois finds out that Clark Kent is, an alien, Superman, the first pretty much encounter. Within the first half an hour of the movie, she finds out he's Superman. Which, it's interesting, but it ruins a lot of what you need in a Superman movie. You need the whole her, dismissing Clark Kent but being in love with Superman. That ironic stuff. You don't get that. And like they just, I don't know. It's like, okay, so Lois Lane finds out he's Superman. She digs deep into his past, finds out he's an alien, and that's it. They just have a romantic interest, and everything is fine. That's it. I mean, this is a superhero movie. It's not supposed to be this easy to get with a superhero. These relationships are supposed to be hard, especially when you're fucking getting in a relationship with a fucking alien, I mean, there's no obstacles, nothing, no turmoil, nothing for them to try to overcome to get into this relationship. They just are hitting it off and it's carefree. And, that's pretty bad, honestly, to have in this movie. It makes it not special at all. There's no chemistry because they're not building up the relationship. It just happens. There's no special moments. The in the Superman movie, the original one, when Superman and Lois Lane in the 1978 Superman movie are flying around Metropolis and he's holding her hand, flying around Metropolis. That had so much more chemistry and so much more emotion and meaning than all of the Lois and Clark scenes in this movie combined. Yeah. Perry White. Lawrence Fishburne, I thought that was, just a horribly written character. I mean, it just was so underwritten. That was a problem. Not enough characterization in this movie. Not enough character development. He was just some guy. Not, Perry White, a loud, fast talking, just crazy editor-in-chief, chief editor, whatever he was. He's just some guy, some guy that works at the Daily Planet. No big deal. Something I want to talk about that I liked about this movie, actually, I almost forgot. I like that they paid homage to a lot of past Superman stuff. Like, there was the scene where, in the old Superman movie, Christopher Reeve, when Lois Lane dies and he yells, "No!" Superman does this when Jonathan Kent dies. And they pay homage to Smallville also, which was nice. Two actors from Smallville are actually in this. The guy in Smallville who played Dr. Emil Hamilton is in this, and one of the Lex Luthor clones from Smallville was in this. And they also there was a storyline in Smallville where a tornado hits the town, and that happened in this movie. Also, the reason why Zod comes in Smallville is he wants to create Earth's atmosphere to be like Krypton's in order to create another Krypton. And to basically create and birth the Kryptonian race again, and that's the same thing that happens in this movie. So I like the paying homage. But back to cons. I talked about the casting. What else is there? Oh, the pacing, and the pacing was just horrible. The balance, it was just really hard to get into because yet you would have a scene with Clark Kent, doing something, and then it'll go to like Lois Lane doing something, and then it'll go to like a flashback, and then it'll go to something else. It was just all over the place in all different time order, and it's like, what? It's like, am I watching Pulp Fiction or something, So you wouldn't be able to get invested in the present time because it was just jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing. Like, a muddled mess is the best way I could put it. What else could I say? Superman, the Superman character, like Clark Kent and Superman. Let's talk about that. There was no difference between Clark Kent and Superman, and that was a huge problem. Clark Kent and Superman in this movie were the same exact person, and that's not how it is. One person is supposed to be the alter ego of the other. Clark Kent and Superman act the exact same way. They have the same exact emotions and expressions and feelings. Kal-El is supposed to either, Clark Kent is supposed to be who he really is, or Superman is supposed to be who he really is. It's always different in every Superman story, but, there's always supposed to be a difference. One is supposed to be who he really is. The other is supposed to be a mask. It doesn't matter which way it is, but it has to be different, And we didn't get that. I mean, Clark Kent and Superman were just the exact same person. And, there wasn't like like the build up to him becoming Superman. You know, he just like he's Clark Kent somehow. Like he just finds his way to the Fortress of Solitude. I don't know how, but he just does. I don't even know if he's looking for it, but he finds his way to the Fortress of Solitude, and he just becomes Superman. You know, it's like there's not that epic moment like, oh right, he's fucking Superman. You know, there wasn't that. Let me talk about the music. Another con. Theme music. Oh man. You know, just theme music in movies these days is just, I mean, whatever happened to that infectious, catchy theme song? Like, you know, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Jaws, E.T., the old Superman movie, Indiana Jones, all those old movies, you know, especially that John Williams composed. Whatever happened to theme songs like that? Now it's just like these complex notes, all this crazy arrangement that you can't hum it, you can't recognize it. You know, if somebody asked me what's the Superman theme from this movie, I don't even know if I heard the Superman theme. I don't even know if there was a Superman theme. And that's a problem, you know. You're supposed to see, you know, when Superman is saving the day, there's that theme that the kids go crazy about that makes them want to be Superman. When he's flying, like, yeah, I want to fly to that song. And you don't get that. You know, that's a problem with movies lately, especially superhero movies and these escapist movies. You know, this blockbuster entertainment. You don't get the theme song that you connect to the movie, that every time you hear even like the first 3 notes you think of that movie. Yeah, it really hurt. I'm not saying they had to use the John Williams theme, but create that type of melody. Not just some random complex notes. I also felt like they could have done a lot better with the Clark Kent growing up stuff, because the Clark Kent was my favorite part, but it just like cut into like these, it was just all these inspirational quotes, these like life discussions that him and Jonathan Kent would have, that Jonathan Kent would tell him. We didn't really see Clark like just like grow up though into like, and him like questioning himself. Now a lot of the critics are saying that this movie was too much soul searching, but I didn't see any soul searching. I just saw people talking to him, telling him who he was going to be, what he had to do. I didn't see, you know, Clark Kent, you know, finding out he's an alien and then, you know, feeling alone in the universe, realizing his parents died, his whole race died in an explosion, he's alone, he has to keep this secret. You know, and that's what hurt. The thing with Lois knowing it's Clark Kent and Superman, it hurt it because it's supposed to be kind of bittersweet that, you know, Superman has Lois Lane, yet, you know, Clark Kent could never tell her that he is Superman. You know, that's the sad thing, that he can never confide to somebody that's who he is, but yet his number one person that he cares about knows. So what's the problem? You know, it's like there were no trials that he had to face, you know, to become Superman. He didn't have to overcome anything. He just became Superman. There were no trials, no opposition. Even the world just accepted him pretty much. I mean, when he became Superman and the world found out, like there's like a little bit of skepticism, and you know, and it was weird because when you saw the poster of Superman in handcuffs, you were like, holy shit, this is gonna be awesome. You know, and that would have been great. You know, the guy who's supposed to save Earth is being treated as an outcast and an enemy by our people. How ironic and great would that have been? And Superman teaching us how to act, teaching us that he is good, and us feeling like asses for actually, you know, that would have been great, a story, an actual like deep story with truth to it of how humans act. But, you know, the way he got arrested, but it wasn't the way you think. They didn't actually arrest him. I don't want to go into it. But basically, he becomes Superman, and the world is just like, whatever, we have an alien. You know, there's no like everybody, you know, trying to go after him, scared of him, you know, trying to chase him away, saying, oh, this Superman guy, he's going to kill us all. You know, it's just, oh, okay, we have a Superman in the world, that's it. You know, to me, there wasn't enough opposition to Superman in the movie. You didn't even have kryptonite to, you know, for Superman to face opposition in the movie. You know, there's just some guy in a cape fighting other Kryptonians. It's like, whatever. Okay, we heard there's a Superman. All right, well, I'll move on now. Yeah, I didn't like that. Another thing, a major thing, is we didn't see why he wants to be Superman. Why he wants to save us. We didn't see the good in people that he sees. You know, we didn't see that he sees a good in people at all. Basically, it's just people telling him, you're going to save the world, you're going to help people. But we never see why he personally embraces the human race, you know? He's just, I mean, pretty much just this serious guy. We don't see a good-hearted, light-hearted, you know, happiness to him and a overall good feeling towards humans. I'm not saying he's portrayed as this bad, evil type of person, but we don't see, like, this connection that he supposedly has with humans in order to want to save them, you know? We don't see the fact that he has grown up as a human and he thinks of himself as a human more than even a Kryptonian. We just don't see the humanity in this movie, and that's a key thing you're supposed to have in a Superman movie. It's supposed to show us the humanity, you know? There's all these people that aren't worth saving that we think, yet Superman always sees the good in people. We have our flaws, but he always sees the good in people. And, you know, that's the thing, because it's like, in all the flashbacks, it's pretty much people just bullying him. We never see him having friends, him just having some, you know, general nice time with his father and mother, Jonathan Kent and Martha Kent. It's all just that life discussion stuff. We never just see a good-spirited Clark Kent, you know, that just, you know, sees something in us that we don't. And that's a huge problem, because that's what Superman is supposed to do. You know, there's just not enough, like, daily citizen saves. You know, he could have been Clark Kent before he was Superman, like Smallville did, just saving people nonstop. Just, you know, just somebody about to get hit by a bus, you know, somebody, a baby, fucking carriage falling down the stairs or something, you know, just anything, just doing these random saves. And that's a problem. I didn't like that he never really felt alone to me. And that's important for Superman. I never felt like he was longing for anything, longing for a certain type of life. You know, like I said, there wasn't really a struggle from him being Clark Kent to Superman. Like, you know, he's on a boat and doing these things, like, where he travels the world, but it just goes into it, and you don't understand what brought him here, why he's doing this. You don't get enough exposition in his growing up story. It just cuts to the life discussions for no reason. You don't get, alright, how he built up to that, why we're having this discussion. And, you know, it's like, that's what it is about Superman. It's like he's this guy that saves people, that's good-spirited, good-hearted, shows us, you know, how to act, you know, how to live. And then, on the other hand, he's this lonely outcast, you know, that can't, you know, talk to anybody who actually understands him. He has to keep his identity a secret. You know, when he's first finding out who he is, he can't even control his powers. The guy's an alien, you know. Jonathan Kent dies. His parents are dead, his real parents are dead, like I said. His whole race is dead. Yet he has to be Superman, you know. He can't worry about himself. He has to be selfless. And that's the irony, you know. And that's what I love about Superman, how lonely the fucking guy is. You know, and that's a story anybody could relate to whenever, you know, they're feeling like, you know, down and out, or like feeling detached from the world, from society. We've all felt like that. And, like, you could relate to Superman with that aspect. That's what Smallville did when it was at its best. And you didn't get that in this movie. Another thing, the action in the last 45 minutes. For the last 45 minutes, it's purely generic action, blockbuster, blow 'em up, CGI buildings falling down action. And it's like, oh, come on already, you know? Like a 15-minute finale would have been fine, you know? But you have this 45-minute sequence of this climactic battle, but you didn't have the build-up to it. There wasn't the exposition enough for me to cheer on Superman at this point, you know? When you get to the end point, you're supposed to be, yeah, I want Superman to fucking save the day and, you know, overcome everything. But we just never really, you can't connect with Superman in this movie, really. You just don't understand, you know, what his motivations are and who he is. It's like he's constantly putting on a mask that as viewers, we can never go past. It's like we're actually dealing with Superman in real life where we can't see into him. And that's the problem. You really can't connect to Superman in this movie. He's kind of shallow and one-dimensional, which is sad to say. And so the action is just unwarranted because it's just all this action, but you can't really cheer it on. You know, there's not that epic moment at the end where Superman saves the day that you're like, yeah! First of all, because you're spent, and it's like, okay, we've been doing this for 45 minutes, you know? And it just didn't build up to it. And lastly, where was the light-hearted, fun, happy, joyous content, feeling, spirit? There was just no light-hearted moments, you know? And that's what the Christopher Reeve movies did perfectly. They perfectly executed that light-hearted spirit that Superman is supposed to have, Superman's stories. And you didn't get that here, you know? I mean, that's how he was written in the comics. You know, Superman is not Batman. These people have to understand. Superman is not Batman. He's a different personality. He's not this gothic, brooding person. You know, he's supposed to be this upstanding citizen. Shows us, represents us. Our hero, our patriot, you know? Shows us how to live our lives. Shows us, you know, what the good in us that we can't even see is. And you just don't get lighthearted moments. You know, especially, you know, the stuff with the Daily Planet. You don't get that in Metropolis, just lighthearted moments. And also it's because Clark and Lois can have that fun conversation that they had in the, you know, original Superman movie. Because Lois knows who Clark Kent is. Clark Kent isn't a bumbling reporter idiot in this movie. So it's not that fun type of chit-chat of Lois thinking he's a dork and him trying to portray himself as a dork. Just fun, carefree moments. I mean, Superman, yes, there has to be serious moments, deep moments, being that this guy is an alien who feels he's the last of his race, has nobody to relate to, nobody to talk to, you know, all of his fucking parents are dead. But you need lightheartedness to contrast that so that you're not fucking crying. And it's like, because you want to be Superman. When at the end of the Superman movie, you want to be Superman. And if it's just that, it's like, Jesus, that's a horrible life. I don't want to be Superman. But there's no fun-hearted elements. Just humor. I mean, there's like moments like where there's a humorous line, but it's never really funny. It's kind of like dry humor, like eh. But there's just no carefree, happy, you know, light-hearted moments that the original Superman movie had. And I hope they do that with a sequel. I really do. You know, because we did the backstory, the exposition. I can't really recall exposition, but we did the origin story. You know, I hope we go into more lighthearted territory. This like new age of superhero movies, it's like they're so scared for us to feel good during the movie. I mean, this is supposed to be escapist entertainment, but it doesn't feel like escapist when there's no lighthearted moments. Like, why do I want to live in this world? Why do I want to be Superman? I didn't get that in this movie. That being said, I thought this was a good movie overall, even though I had a lot of problems with it, but that's because I had huge expectations for the movie, and they did get a lot of things wrong. But for the most part, it was a good movie, and it does look like a sequel could be good. It does set it up nice for a sequel. Now that we got the origin story done, we did this, you know, maybe we slipped a little, but we could work towards a better second movie. I just wish Zack Snyder wasn't directing it. I really hope we get some lighthearted moments. I hope Clark and Lois have some more chemistry. They have some problems in their relationship that, you know, are imposed on them because they had no problems here, which was kind of boring. Hopefully we get a different egos between Clark Kent and Superman. We see different personalities between the two. This way, you know, we understand that they're different people. That's how they're supposed to be. One is a mask, one is the true person. Yeah, so there you go. Overall, enjoyed the movie, liked it. But the best way to put it is it was a good movie with a lot of flaws. That's how it is. To me, the Christopher Reeve movies are still, you know, the ones to beat. Those are still the classics to watch. But I do recommend seeing this movie. Okay, there you go. There's my first review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be doing more of these, like I said. Doesn't have to necessarily be new releases. I could do whatever movies I want to talk about. Alright, I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.